That's fucking stupid. Yo, what's up? My name is Glimmer Boy. I'm going to teach you how to make Future Garage or UK Garage, whatever the fuck you want to call it. UK Garage is literally Future Garage is the same thing except it has a more. Anyway, essentially what I'm going to be teaching you today is how I came to making this Future Garage drop, to which sounds like this. Anyway, I have this project here that I've been working on. It was supposed to be a collab with somebody. This is why I have all this garbage on the side here. I took this one little piece that the person I was collabing with had sent me, which I believe is this. I made this really cool background pad thing. It's a little more full, it's a little more out there sounding. Basically, the effects that I had used on it was a crap ton of stuff. But what the general point is that you typically want to start with some weird sound or some sort of melody, whatever may have you. In this case, the guitar that I had chopped up and done a bunch of weird stuff with. And you want to just kind of build your drop around that. That's kind of like an easy way to structure the song and put things together and kind of fit things where you want things to fit. And then pretty much you just move on to the drums. Essentially, the biggest elements that you're going to need to be able to make just garage music in general is your kick, snare, and your percussion pattern. What you're going to want to have is offbeat kick, weirdly placed snares that kind of sound in the same format as this, or something similar or different. This is kind of like a more two-step kind of pattern. Sounds more on beat, more danceable than a lot of garage music, but you can really do whatever pattern you want. You can make it this 1 and 2. You can make it something like either way does not matter. It just, as long as you have a pattern that works best for you. Even something like this would have worked in my track. I just chose not to do something like this because that's not what I was going for. Next, in terms of the percussion, what I had ended up doing was I took this garage percussion loop that I found online. I think this comes from Venus Theory on YouTube. I have a lot of his free sample packs from his channel. By the way, check Venus Theory out. He's really great when it comes down to making garage music and things of that nature. But I digress. I believe that's where this sample pack came from. I'm not 100% though. I know I found it online somewhere some time ago. From this pack, I used one of the percussion loops, which runs at 130, though I sped it up just a little bit to go to 136, which is what the tempo of this track is. And it sounds like this. When you put that together with the kick and snare, you get a whole thing that sounds like this. And that's pretty much where we're at when it comes down to the percussion side of things. Obviously, after you've gotten everything down, you got your melody down, you got your kicks and snares down, next what you're going to obviously want is your bass. Typically, when it comes down to garage music altogether, you normally make it a Reese. There we go. Typically what you would end up doing is you would get a general 2-saw sort of thing going on, and you would create a Reese out of it. There is this shit going on in this patch that I have. I don't know why. I don't know where the fuck it came from. I don't know why it looks like that. Nobody cares really. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically show you how to make a Reese from scratch. There are a lot of Future Garage tutorials that will show you how to make Reeses in the middle of the video or whatever the hell. I'm going to show you right now how I do it just because it makes life easier. You'll have one saw wave, you'll have another saw wave. One thing that I found that is really nice to do is taking the fine knob and turning one end really low to something like 24, and then one oscillator really high up to positive 24. These can be whatever varying numbers you want, 24, 25, whatever may have you. What I generally will do is I'll throw on a low pass filter, as anybody would, just so that you don't have so much high frequency just fucking up your ears. And then you just play this on the low note. One of the biggest characteristics about this sort of Reese pattern, or this way of making Reeses, something that I really like, and you can probably already hear this, is the fact that when you hit a low note, get that almost LFO sort of feel because of the way that I guess the waveforms are hitting each other when they're playing at the same time, or whatever the fuck. There's a lot of videos that explain it. I'm not really good at the sound theory thing, but what I do know is that really high pitch, really low fine pitch, you combine together, you get it sound cool. And then of course the higher in pitch you go, the faster that LFO feel becomes. Basically, another thing that you want to do after this is you want to make your voicings here mono, and you can do legato if you would like to. Mono just makes it so that one note plays at the same, only one note can be played at a time, and then legato makes it so that the notes slide between each other. So what you do after you turn on legato is you take this knob, which is the portamento time, essentially the slide time, and you make it some weird number. I always do like 250. You can silence the Reese that we have going on here and only play the one that we just made, which sounds like this. Like I say, we were to use that in replacement of the original bullshit that we have now, the original Reese that we have now, we could literally, the entire song now would sound like. And I mean, that could work for you, that could work for whatever. I mean, it really depends. People have varying takes on what Reese's should sound like. Whether or not you do the pitch thing too is even your choice. The original Reese bass that I have here doesn't have the whole pitch nonsense going on. And this same concept goes for any plugin that you use with two oscillators, with two or more oscillators. It's literally just two saw waves with a low pass filter on. I put some unison on the saw waves so that it wouldn't just sound mono the whole time. This is originally how it sounded, but you know, adding a bit of unison does widen it out. For the template that I had shown you earlier, you literally can apply the same concept to get that sort of wide feel. It does not matter. Something that I also forgot to mention, of course, you want to have a bass below your Reese so that you know, you have the Reese in and of itself, the Reese sound separate from the bass. It makes for a little more creative freedom. You can add whatever effects you want to the bass in and of itself. You can add whatever effects you want to the Reese, which is how I have, for example, like the Reese where I cut out all of the low end so that it feels more spread out and wide, while the bass in and of itself is still mono, which is what you want. Or you can have stereo sub, who cares? Music is music, do whatever you want. Next, what you're going to normally want is vocal chops or something in the manner of vocals in some way, shape, or form. Now, I don't know how it works in Ableton. I do believe you can probably just put vocals on a sampler or something like that, but in FL Studio, something that's really nice to do, and this is just like a quick a quick tip. If you open up Fruity Slicer, you literally can just load in any kind of vocal, any kind of sound, whatever may have you. Literally just take a vocal, throw it onto the bullshit, onto Fruity Slicer right in the middle here. What you do afterwards is you pull up the little settings thing. You go to the second tab here for the settings on the sound. You turn down the attack, you turn down the hold, you turn down the decay, you turn up the sus, among us, and you turn down the release, because what then this does is you can basically what ends up happening is it puts the entire sound on a keyboard, on the keyboard for you, and you can just play the sounds from your piano roll. What I'll do is I'll pick, you know, random spots or whatever, and I'll make like a vocal pattern out of it or whatever, so you know, have something like some random shit like that, and then if need be, when you double click one of these notes, you can change the pitch on them. Do note though, when you change the pitch, it does change the speed of the sample, so you do have to get a little bit creative. This one that I turned the pitch down on now moves slower than what the original sample would have been when it was at its original pitch. as you can tell here. Basically, the way that I had done the vocal chops for this track was I took a random sample, cut it up, and then got these three parts that I really liked, and then did a bunch of effects and stuff like that. I added a bunch of effects that, you know, that's something I probably have to end up getting into another video about because of how much is on there. But you know, without all of the, you know, extra shit that I had put on the vocals, it sounds in and of itself like this. But yeah, you know, you do a bunch of effects, you do some EQing, you do a bunch of weird shit. Essentially, what I'm trying to show you in this video is how to get your format of your Future Garage down realistically, rather than all the individual things you can do to make things sound cool. It's just, this is what the basic template for Garage is. It just makes your life a little bit easier. You can have vocal chops making up the entire drop. You can have vocal chops making up your melody. You can have vocal chops in the way that I have it, where it's literally in the middle of my track, making up different parts of like the downbeat, shit like that, like this whole. You can literally do whatever it is that you want. At this point in time, usually you can add whatever it is that you want to be able to get a little more emotion, whatever may have you. I have this pad in the middle that I also got from Venus Theory, to which adds a bit more of like the, you know, darker vibe that I like to have. And sometimes what you can even do to kind of give the pad some groove or some rhythm, you could easily do something like cut it at the end and then make like that small ending part like a different pitch or like a higher tone, or like make it different in some way, shape, or form, like a sort of groove, or kind of make like a sort of beat, so you have like a, or something like that. I do that sometimes when it comes down to my tracks. It kind of is like context heavy. So pretty much, again, you've reached a point here where you can pretty much add whatever it is that you want, put in different things like vinyl cracks, snaps, clicks, whatever may have you, to make it a deeper, like darker feel if that's what you're going for, or add in elements that kind of make it feel more like the vibe you're trying to go for. Another thing that I had done was I had put in this simple like sign pluck. I kind of got the inspiration for this sort of sign pluck from Virtual Riot, because he does this a lot in a lot of his tracks. This weird little. One thing that I notice is that he will have small elements, maybe like this little background pluck, or like a sine wave that makes an ARP or something really cool like that, or, you know, weird, strange, or background sort of synth heavy, whatever may have you, to be able to make like this sort of like background element, or to be able to make something that complements the main bass or sound or whatever may have you that he's created, kind of on top or the back, just kind of in your ears, to be able to give you a bit more of that feel or a bit more of that groove. But yeah, pretty much essentially all of these elements put together gives you the vibe of track that you're trying to go for. And so pretty much at a point like this, I like to take from that one stream that Skrillex did, where he basically described music as you can do whatever the hell you want. You can add all types of whips, tricks, weird shit, whatever. But the biggest thing is that as long as you have your main idea, you pretty much have your track. So in a case like this, if you've pretty much had your melody, you've pretty much had your beat, you've pretty much had your kick, snare, percussion, all of that, you have your track. You can now do all types of cool things like add glitches or sound effects, whatever may have you. In a case like mine, I added like this little tremolo effect, which is a really cool thing to put in music. I got the inspiration for that from Tisoki. He does that in a lot of his tracks. I think it's cool, so I do it. It's just like a weird, fun thing to implement in music. But yeah, pretty much that is my general structure for garage music. This is how I make all of my garage. This is kind of like the general structure I follow for garage. The whole thing in my brain is, hey, you know, I have my kick, snare, I have my percussion, I have my main melody, I have, you know, my vocals. If I have vocal chops, you can make, like I said, vocal chops can be melody, vocal chops can be supporting sounds, vocal chops can be whatever it is that you want them to be, as long as it just makes up some part of your song. Or you could not include vocal chops altogether. It really doesn't matter. And of course, that's not like the diamond standard for garage. That's kind of just a sort of easy template or method to follow, to which I follow, to which a lot of my friends follow, to which a lot of people who ask me how to make garage follow, because that's, again, that's like my process. It just makes things really easy. It makes things really nice. Pretty much, my name's Glimmer Boy. I make computer music. Drop a comment in the comment section if you feel as though I missed something, or if you feel as though I could, you know, explain something a little better, or if I could clarify something a little better. And you know, if you like the video, drop it a like. If you don't like it, drop it a dislike. I'm gonna fucking cry if you drop a dislike. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a fucking great day.